We're hearing in the news more and more about men having to pay child support for children they didn't father, and in many cases have never even met. What is this all about? We'll discuss this next on Women Against Paternity Fraud. Paternity fraud occurs when a mother names a man to be the father of her child when she knows or suspects he is not the father. Throughout history, societies and their laws have always had an interest in paternity establishment. Who will be the king? Who is born a citizen? Who is born free or slave? And who will inherit the family estate? True paternity was often difficult to establish because we lived in a pre-DNA world in which presumptions served the useful purpose of solving paternity cases. The presumptions were a substitute for truth at a time when truth could not be obtained. In the past, injustices could occur because we were simply unable to be sure about the identity of the child's father. We now live in a world in which truth is available. For less than $100, we can know with certainty whether a particular man is or is not the father of a particular child. But beware, because DNA testing sometimes isn't enough because of a statute of limitations. In 1988, the U.S. Supreme Court noted that there is only a small window of opportunity to contest the paternity in accordance with the state law they reside in. In California, it's 2 years, and other states have similar limitations. Presumptions and limitations that were useful in the pre-DNA world should give way to truth and to justice today. We are living in a time where there is no excuse for continued injustice. Paternity fraud can happen in many ways. Default judgments, presumed paternity, in-hospital acknowledgement forms, and lack of legal representation. Let's talk a little bit about child support and why so many men are paying for children they didn't father. In LA County, 80% of paternity establishments are entered by default judgment, whereas for the state of California as a whole, the number is 68%. However, California is not alone. Men who have default judgments against them never knew about their court hearing. They never got their day in court, and they have never taken a DNA test. Oftentimes, men are jailed for non-payment of child support for children they did not father, but have a default judgment against them. Paternity fraud has devastating effects not only on men, but the women in their lives, their spouses, girlfriends, mothers, aunts, grandmothers, relatives, and especially on children. Women Against Paternity Fraud is not just for victims, but for anyone that supports the falsely accused, who believe in due process rights, and supports truth and justice. Restoring fairness and balance to a system that is not interested in truth and justice is not a gender issue. Check out our website and become a member. Help us to help paternity fraud victims, because paternity is important to you and to children.